Okay, if you guys want to learn how to edit in Montage, just like the clip I showed you, follow along this tutorial and watch till the end, leave a sub, and drop a like. So we are going to be using Premiere Pro, we're going to have Sapphire, and I will put all of the links in the description for the presets that I use. And I recommend having some prior experience to Premiere or any editing software before you watching this video, because I don't go over everything completely, so yes. So without further ado, let's go film our cinematics. Okay guys, so now we're gonna go film our cinematic. Alright, so this one right here is the replay file that I have. Right here. We're gonna do gameplay. Oh, that does not look good. Okay, we're gonna do drone free, and then we're gonna get right behind, so like something like this. Oh, and press minus to make your drone speed lower. Alright, something like this will do. And essentially we're going to just go backwards, and then we're going to use that as our clip. So go get your controllers. I'm going to go get mine. Keyboard and mouse also works, but not half as well. And that's really easy to do. Just press your settings, go here, show FPS off. Alright. Wait for the fully hidden HD to go away. And then we slowly zoom back. Alright, so that should do. So we're going to press stop recording, or we're going to clip that with whatever we're using to record. So I'm just going to save that. And then I will meet you in Premiere. Okay guys, so now that we have our clips pulled over here, we're going to drag in our song. And it is I Don't Want It Anymore, something by XXXTentacion. I don't know how to say his name. I'm a noob, I know. Alright, but I'll put the link down in the description. I will also put the link for the videos down in the description. So if you want to copy along straight with me, so you can do that. Alright, so we're going to go through this and find the first beat drop. Okay, so to put a marker, you just press M and you make a marker. Alright, so that's where our kill is going to go. Alright, so we're going to drag over our video now. We're going to bring this down. This right here and here, and then we're gonna find the exact spot where I kill the person. So let's go forward. I know it's not the best clip, but it'll do. Alright, so right here. So a good way to tell when the bullet shot is, see down here where the pump shot is 3 out of infinity. When that goes down to 2, you mark that. So that's the exact time the bullet shoots. So we're gonna go from the starter clip. So right around here. So then we drag that right there using the marker, and then we line those both up. So then we have this. Alright. Alright, that's that, and now we're going to add the effects and the cinematics. So here's the first cinematic. We recorded this, and then we're going to go to the very start of it. Alright, so we have this clip. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut right where we want our cinematic to start. Alright, so right here is when our cinematic is going to start, right when the audio goes silent. So we gotta have our clip like to here by then. So then we cut right in the middle of these two clips. So we have the first, so when our cinematic happens, so right here, we're gonna cut here. And then that way we have our cinematic clip. So that's when it's gonna cut to the cinematic. So cinematic, and then we hit the shot. Alright, so now what we need to do to make this be able to fit, we're going to select, see the FX, you right click on that, speed, and this is time remapping, you can just delete the audio, and then we're going to crank that way up, like somewhere around 700. Alright, Alright, we need to go a lot faster than that actually. Alright, so we got that right there, and then we're gonna make this just a little bit slower actually. 900, maybe 1,000. 1,000 probably good. And then we press Alt, we hold Alt, and then we drag this clip to make a duplicate of it. So Alt, and then that. And that's to make a duplicate there. So then we have this. Oh. And then we need to press speed. So right click on it again. Speed and duration. Reverse speed. And then there we go. So we have something that's like a little bit like this. Okay, it's very laggy, but it should look something like that. We're going to crank up the speed on this first one, or the second one. And then here comes the tricky part for the timer mapping. We want this to slow down right around here. So what we're going to do is make this lower to like 700 or something. And then we're going to make it zoom back in. Alright, so we need to render these real quick because it is very laggy. So what we want to do is press on both of these and then nest that. And then we're just going to add like a super duper simple effect like RSMB. And this will essentially just render it so that way we can see it and what it will actually look like. So that way the preview looks nice and we can tell what's going on. It's not just like 2 frames. Alright, so that doesn't look bad, but it could look a lot better. Alright, so we're actually going to make this right here shorter. So we're going to cut this down. And then we're going to drag it all the way over here. So let's check how that looks. Much better. Alright, so now what we're going to do is double tap on this. So the nested sequence, double tap right there. Left click. And then go to the very beginning, and then we can change the nest, and that makes it a lot easier to do stuff. We don't have all that extra junk. So what you want to do is on this arrow right here, we want to drag that. See these dots? We want to make that nice and smooth. That'll just make it look a little bit nicer and like have a better transition between the two. And same with this one. Nice, beautiful little line. So now it looks, oh, we gotta render it again, so boom. And then we're actually gonna make this a little bit faster, I think. It would look nicer. And then, so we're just gonna make everything a little bit faster. Right, and then we gotta re-render this. Oh, and by the way, to do this, just press enter and that will render the files. Alright, that looks so much better. And then we can just... Alright, so then we just put that right there, and then we sync that up with the dot. Alright, so then what we want to add right here is S_glow. You have to have the sapphire effect to do this. Alright, so at first this looks ugly, but we're going to turn this down to 1. Then we're going to keyframe all of this right here. Or at least these 2 colors right here. So for this, we're just going to select a nice red color. It can be any color you want, but red's my personal favorite for this. Alright, so we're going to turn the glow width up to that. Just make it how you like it. It'll look a little bit different on my screen. So So that's around good. So that looks pretty good to me. So then we're gonna go out a little bit. So around here. And then we're gonna turn all of this to 0. So or at least the brightness down to 0. And then we get this nice little glow effect where it turns red and then it goes away. Alright, so now that we've adjusted all of that and added the red glow, we're going to render that, press enter to do that. And then we're going to have this really nice glowing red effect when the cinematic starts. Alright, so personally I think that looks really good. So yeah, you get that nice red effect. Alright, so now that we got right here, we're going to cut right on the marker. And then we're going to add some flicker. So S_flicker. Oh, and make sure you save your project just in case you crash, because that is never fun. Alright, so now we have some flicker when the shot gets fired. And we're going to print this up to 0.3. That probably looks fine for now. So then we're going to do S_shake. And this at first is very chaotic. Looks a little bit like a meme. But we're actually going to turn the S_shake. We're going to turn the amplitude to 0.8. This still looks pretty bad, so we're going to turn this to 4. And then I like motion blur on. It just makes it look a little bit nicer. And then turn this to like 0.3. And then, so we got that. We're gonna go a couple of frames out when you want the shake to end. And then you put this right here to 0. And then there will be no more shakes. So. And then same with the flicker. So flicker, amplitude, turn that down to 0. Alright, so then we have this. Alright, so another nice effect we can add is film damage. S_film damage. Alright, so this at first will look very, very, very bad. So we're going to put the grain to 0. We're going to put the stains to 0.1. The dust to, let's do something like 5, 6. Anywhere from 5 to 10 looks good. But adjust it how you like it. And then the hairs, we're going to put that to 0. The scratches, we're going to put that to 0 as well. Shake amplitude, let's do 0.001. Oh, we can't go that low. Vignette darkness, put that to 0. Flicker, we'll add some later, so we can just put that to 0. And then we have this effect. I don't know, I kind of like it. It's up to you though. Alright, so that's kind of a cool effect. I think I'm actually going to turn down the dust density to 0.5, or to 5, my bad. And then we're going to turn, yeah, so that looks good to me. Then for our final step, we're going to add RSMB. This is motion blur, essentially. But it makes your clips look 1,000 times better, and I'll put a link in the description for a video on how to get it for free. And then same with Sapphire, because the Sapphire and RSMB plugins both cost money. Unless you know where to get them, if you know what I mean. Alright, so I'll be back once this is done rendering, and then we can take a look at the clip. Alright, but before we render that, we're actually going to add some black bars to this cinematic. So we're going to go into our nested sequence, and then we're going to go into our project. New, black video, and then we just make that like that. And we're going to scroll up a little bit like that. Okay, so for the black bars, we want to drag a crop onto that. And then we want to make 2 of these, just hold Alt again. And then for the top one, you want to press bottom, and then turn this to 0. to 100, my bad. 100. And then for the bottom one, you want to turn the top to 100. Alright, so then you want to press shift and then step forward 1 frame. So somewhere around here, let's go back 1 frame. Alright, so then we press this and I like 85, 85 looks good. And then we do the same for this. Make sure you have it keyframed. And then those will zoom in. And then right here. So 1 frame before that, we press this button right here. And then we go forward 1 frame and turn that back down to 100. And then we do the same for here. Press this button, go 1 frame ahead, press 100. Alright, so now let's see what it looks like with every single effect we've added. And I will be back once that is done. Alright guys, so it's done rendering, so let's check it out. Alright, so that looks pretty sick to me. So if you want another tutorial or do you want me to go over any of these effects again, you can ask in the comments. I'll be there. I'll reply to almost every single one. And I will do my best to make more tutorials like this. So tell me if you liked it. Let's try and hit 10 likes. I'd really appreciate that. And see y'all in the next video.